My name is Andy Bright, and for several years I lived with pulmonary fibrosis. It is a scarring of the lungs that progresses at different rates for different people. The average life expectancy is 3 to 5 years, and there is no cure. I got to end stage in 2018, and I was preparing my own funeral and saying my goodbyes to loved ones. I had been on the active transplant list for 10 months, and a lung transplant was my only hope of survival. In the September, I received a call at 1:20 in the morning. I was very lucky that the Queen Elizabeth is only 20 minutes from where I live. I woke my children and told them that I had received the call and that I would see them soon. My son drove my wife and I to the hospital and waited whilst all the necessary checks were carried out. At around 7:30 in the morning, we had the all clear and I was taken down to theatre. I kissed my wife and son and said, "I'll see you on the other side in the brave new world." I promised my family that when I received my gift, it would be the brave new world where we would do things that pulmonary fibrosis had prevented. There were complications during the operation regarding my heart and kidneys, and therefore I was kept in a medically induced coma for 8 days, whilst my body repaired itself from the massive ordeal it had been through. The monitoring for the first few months was intensive, initially every week, then every 2, then every month. This is extremely important as within 3 months of my transplant, I experienced acute rejection. I followed all the advice and the rejection was resolved. People asked me if I worried, and I told them I'll start to worry when the transplant team tell me to worry. In the 5 years since my transplant, I'm pleased to say that they've never had to say that. I've had what I call speed bumps, but we have dealt with them as and when they arrive, mostly as a result of medications I now have to take on a daily basis. I've been very fortunate in finding support during my fibrosis years and post-transplant. I'd been involved with APF as a patient for several years and had set up a support group for patients and their families in my local area. My family, I have a wife, 3 children, and at the moment 5 grandchildren, were also very supportive. My best mate of over 40 years used to come with me at some of my hospital appointments, which were 50 miles away. And when it was bad news, I could discuss that with him rather than causing further worry and concern to my family. I was very fortunate to be able to continue working for Birmingham City Council in adult care right up until my transplant and post-transplant because of my wonderful colleagues. They made adjustments for me and covered for me when I couldn't attend meetings. 3 years ago, APF also established a transplant support group. This is for pre and post-transplant patients. There we can help each other and share our experiences. As I mentioned earlier, I experienced rejection in the first few months following my transplant, and this was confirmed by a bronchoscopy. A bronchoscopy is not a pleasant procedure, and I had to have one first to confirm the acute rejection, and then another after treatment to ensure it had worked. This is why I'm very excited about the Sentinel project. Had I received a skin flap, it would have been easier and more comfortable to identify my rejection. And of course, the sooner rejection can be identified, the sooner one could receive treatment and protect a transplant. When I heard of this about skin flaps, I was fascinated. I would have no qualms about it. I would already be receiving their lungs, so a bit of skin is nothing to be concerned about. I was happy to donate my old lungs for research, and I would happily give my consent to be part of the Sentinel study had I been offered the opportunity. I talked about the brave new world. In it, I've been able to enjoy many things I never thought I'd live to see. Just a couple of the many highlights are that I've seen the arrival of my beautiful granddaughter Ada. I've walked my daughter Jess down the aisle. My father used to take me to Sunday morning football as a boy. I did the same with my son, but I had to use 24-hour a day oxygen to do that. But now I've been able to take my grandsons to their games and sat and watch them play, breathing the cold Sunday morning air into my lungs from my unknown saviour. I've spoken to hundreds of people about pulmonary fibrosis and organ transplant. I've seen Aston Villa get promoted and qualify for Europe. I've even abseiled down Villa Park to raise money for APF. I've since given up my role within adult social care and joined the team at Action for Pulmonary Fibrosis to improve the lives of all those living with pulmonary fibrosis, and also fortunate enough to receive a gift like mine. Next year I will be 60, a birthday I didn't think I'd reach, and I intend to raise awareness of organ donation by riding my motorcycle from John O'Groats to Land's End. Why not join me by waving me on or riding with me for part of the journey? If you can't join me, then please remember Action for Pulmonary Fibrosis is here for everyone affected by pulmonary fibrosis. We're currently supporting around 10,000 people through our services. We're funding cutting-edge new research into the disease, and we're campaigning for a better future for everyone affected by PF. With the PF community, they're facing long delays in accessing special care. We've seen our calls to our support line increase dramatically. Most people are being referred to us for support, and it's vital that we do more to be there for more people earlier. Please help our mission to put a stop to pulmonary fibrosis by making a donation, and you can donate here. Thank you.